Welcome to the final match of the 2011 West Kentucky Academic Bowl. My name is Gary Goodacre. I'm professor of mathematics here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, and I'll be serving as today's moderator. To my left is my judge, Joe Mahoney, also a professor of mathematics here at WKCTC. Our two finalists for the 2011 Bowl are Callaway County to my right, and Lone Oak to my left. These two teams have not only won their district competition, but their semifinal rounds to make it to this place. We will be competing for scholarship money from the West Kentucky Academic Bowl Endowment Fund. Let's introduce the teams, starting with Callaway County to my left. Please state your name and grade.
Hudson Elliott, freshman.
Cody Bergman, freshman. Nate Claus, freshman.
Simon McCulchick, sophomore.
Who will be serving as your captain today? Okay. Would you introduce your coaches?
Here we have Miss Erica Gray, and over here Miss Amy Melvin.
Fantastic. Lono, please introduce yourselves.
Bobby Kaltenbeck, Jr.
Ricky Ruel, Jr.
Matthew Dolan, Senior. Nicholas Anderson, Jr.
And who will be serving as Lone Oak's captain?
I'm the captain.
Wonderful. And please introduce your coach.
Mr. Tony Jarvis.
Thank you. We will continue with the 5-second toss-up format and the 10-second bonus format. Each team has 5 seconds to buzz in on a toss-up question. If they get it right, they will have 10 seconds to answer a following bonus question. If the team does not get the bonus question correct, the other team will get a chance to answer it. Each half will have 40 questions, and after that, we hopefully will have the 2011 West Kentucky Academic Bowl champion. Teams, are you ready? Callaway? Lone Oak? Let's begin the finals with toss-up 1. What is the next term in the arithmetic sequence whose first 3 terms are 2/3, 1/2, and 1/3? Lone Oak 4.
1/6.
Correct. Bonus to Lone Oak. In June of 2005, Geneviève Laporte announced that she would sell 20 sketches of her that show the tender side of her lover, an artist often accused of treating women badly. Name the artist of these sketches done during his tender period, not during his more famous rose or blue periods.
Picasso.
Is correct. Toss-up 3. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was the first in what contemporary playwright's cycle in which he sets out to chronicle Black American life in each decade of the 20th century? No answer on August Wilson. Toss-up 4. Most bacteria have one of 3 shapes. By what name do we know spherical bacteria? White 2.
Coxeye.
Correct, Lone Oak. Bonus 5. It was founded in 1987 in opposition to the moderate policies of the Palestine Liberation Organization. What is this radical Palestinian organization that has sponsored terrorism directed against Israel, including sending suicide bombers into crowded places?
Hamas.
It is Hamas, Lone Oak. You get the bonus. Toss-up 6. He preached that one could attain happiness through the doctrine of the mean, a balance achieved between rashness and caution. Name this ancient Greek thinker and student of Plato. White 1.
Aristotle.
That is correct. Bonus 7. The MKS system is a scientific system based on the meter, kilogram, and what other unit?
Second.
Second is correct. Lone Oak. Toss-up 8. In one of his poems, Robert Browning retold the story of what German magician who helped to rid a town of its rat problem by Lone Oak 1.
The Pied Piper.
Yes, the Pied Piper of Hamelin is correct. Bonus 9, Lone Oak. One can enter the Tower of London from the land side or through a gate on the water side. Give the popular name for the waterside gate, so called because of the type of prisoners who often entered there.
Murdergate.
Incorrect, Captain.
No answer.
Traitor's Gate. 10 is a toss-up. A land area shaped like an equilateral triangle measures 12 rods on each side. The midpoints of each side are located, and the 4 congruent regions are each enclosed using 1 strand of electric fence. How many rods of electric fence are used? Lone Oak 4.
18.
Incorrect. Callaway 4.
4.5.
54. After 10 questions, Lone Oak 7, Callaway 0. Toss-up 11. A god of civilization, he represented the forces of good and light pitted against the evil Tezcatlipoca. Name this ancient deity of the Aztecs who was called the feathered serpent. Callaway 1.
Quetzalcoatl.
It is Quetzalcoatl. You're on the board, Callaway. Here is your bonus. Given the word Australia, if you choose 2 letters at random without replacement, what is the probability that your first choice is an A and your second choice is U.
$127.
Incorrect, Captain.
1/24.
It is 1/24. Lone Oak, you get the bonus. Toss-up 13. The medieval poet Ferdowsi wrote what 60,000 couplet epic about events in the lives of the legendary Persian kings and heroes? No answer for Shah Nama, or the Book of Kings. Toss-up 14. Proteins, nucleic acids, and starches are examples of what type of large molecules constructed, Callaway 4?
Carbohydrates.
Incorrect. Constructed by the chaining together of many smaller identical units. Lone Oak 4.
Polymers.
Polymers is correct, Lone Oak. Here's your bonus 15. In what type of state does the government provide for the well-being of its citizens through Social Security, unemployment insurance, and free medical treatment?
Welfare state.
It is a welfare state, Lone Oak. Toss-up 16. Which German mathematician determined the regular polygons that could be used or constructed with straight edge and compass by using complex numbers? Callaway 4.
No, that's going to be.
Incorrect. Lone Oak 1.
Leibniz.
It is Carl Gauss. Toss-up 17. After succeeding with the piano rag Charleston Rag in 1899, he teamed with the songwriter Noble Sissle. Name this American jazz, Lone Oak 3.
Scott Joplin.
Incorrect. Name this American jazz pianist and composer of more than 300 songs who produced such Broadway hits as Shuffle Along and Blackbirds of 1930. Callaway 2.
Parker.
U.B. Blake. Toss-up 18. The main characters are Fermina Daza and Florentino Ariza. Name this magic realist novel by Gabriela Garcia Marquez about a love that finally triumphs after 52 years. Lone Oak 1.
Love in the Time of Cholera.
It is indeed that answer. Here's your bonus, 19. What is the valency of hydrogen in methane, CH4? Time, Captain.
8.
It is 1. Toss up 20. Found in Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution, what four-word term refers to the mutual understanding between courts of the 50 states to recognize, honor, and enforce each other's actions? Full faith and credit. After 20 questions, Lone Oak 11, Callaway 1. Toss up 21. Given the Fibonacci sequence, 3, 6, 9, 15, 24, X and Y. What is the sum of X and Y? Time, 102. Toss up 22. In molecular modeling, arrows originating from grid points on the van der Waals surface of a molecule are used to represent the strength of what? Lone Oak 2.
Intermolecular forces.
Incorrect. Callaway, can you take it? An electric field. Toss up 23. It praised original genius and found new models in Shakespeare's plays and in simple folk songs. Name this German literary movement of the late 18th century that counted among its members Johann von Herder and Johann von Goethe. Sturm und Drang, or Storm and Stress. Toss up 24. Many Native American family clans claim descent from a particular animal or other natural object. Give the name for this revered ancestral animal or object. Lone Oak 3.
Totem.
Yes, it is totem. Bonus 25. What French composer of the 19th century poked fun at serious operas with his comic operetta Orpheus in the Underworld?
Debussy.
Incorrect, Captain.
No answer.
Jacques Offenbach. Toss up 26. These compounds do not dissolve easily in water, and they are usually nonpolar. Oils and other long hydrocarbons are examples of what type of water-fearing compounds? Lone Oak 2.
Lipids.
Incorrect. Time. Hydrophobic. Toss up 27. Multiple answers required. Name any two of the three great African trading kingdoms that were important in the shipping of gold from Africa's west coast to the Middle East. Ghana, Mali, or Songhai, any two. Toss up 28. 2 to the x power plus 2 to the x plus 1 power plus 2 to the x plus 2 power is equal to 2 to the x power multiplied by what number? Time? 7. Toss up 29. Born in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, she lived much of her life in New Mexico, which inspired the desert blooms and bleached bones characteristic Lone Oak 3.
O'Keefe.
That is Georgia O'Keeffe. You're correct. 30's a bonus. A member of the Scribblerus Club, his famous quotes include, "A little learning is a dangerous thing, and fools rush in where angels fear to tread." Name this English writer known for such satirical mock epics as The Rape of the Lock and The Dunciad.
Lear.
Incorrect, Captain.
No answer.
Alexander Pope. Toss up 31. What kind of dynamic equilibrium in a cell occurs when the amount of water entering and leaving a cell is equal? Lone Oak 3.
Osmotic.
Incorrect. Callaway 4.
Static.
We needed osmotic balance. We needed balance to make that right. Toss up 32. If your friend Joseph has an impressive ability to say and do the correct thing in any situation, you might use what French term to describe his abilities? Joseph has savoir-faire. Toss up 33. The verb discern means to recognize something as different or distinct. Spell discern. Lone Oak 1.
DISCERN.
Correct, Lone Oak. Here's your bonus 34. Florence Nightingale established a battlefield hospital for British soldiers who were wounded in which war?
World War One.
Incorrect, Captain.
War of 1812.
Crimean War. Toss up 35. What is the distance from the x-intercept of the equation x equals y squared minus 3y plus 6 to the origin? White 4 you got in.
6.
It is 6, right before the buzzer. Here's your bonus 36. It evolved from the traditional peasants' country dance known as the landler. What is this ballroom dance in 3/4 time that was popularized by the compositions of the Strauss family in Vienna?
Waltz.
It is the waltz. Toss up 37. A surplus is the amount by which receipts exceed outlays during a given fiscal period. What other term refers to the amount by which outlays exceed receipts during a given period? Lone Oak 1.
Deficit.
Yes, you're running a deficit. Bonus 38. What scientific device invented in 1745 by Peter von Musschenbruch was the first device that could store large amounts of electric charge?
Battery.
Incorrect, Captain.
Capacitor.
Leyden jar. Toss up 39. What is the surface area of a sphere of diameter 6 inches? Lone Oak 4.
144 pi square inches.
Incorrect. Callaway 4.
72 pi inches squared.
36 pi square inches. Toss up 40. Born near Odessa, she was a key member of the Acmeist school of poets. Name this Russian poet whose collections include Evening and Rosary. Anna Akhmatova. That's the end of the first half. We'll check the score and be back after this brief intermission. Welcome back to the second half of the 2011 West Kentucky Academic Bowl. We've had no substitutions, and we've checked the score. Lone Oak 17, Callaway County 1, and we're going to begin the second half. Teams, are you ready? Let's begin. Toss up 1. Forces of 5 pounds and 12 pounds act on a body at right angles. What is the resultant force? Lone Oak 4.
13 pounds.
Correct, Lone Oak. Here's your bonus 2. What class of vertebrates is characterized by warm-bloodedness, gas exchange through lungs, internal fertilization, 2 pairs of legs, and includes such members as whales, bears, and kangaroos?
Mammalia.
Correct. Toss up 3. The character of Edward Driffield in W. Somerset Maugham's novel Cakes and Ale was based on what Victorian novelist who wrote The Return of the Native and Jude the Obscure? Lone Oak 1.
Thomas Hardy.
Correct, Lone Oak. Here's bonus 4. When Tori Iwatani, a young designer at Namco, was inspired by a pizza that was missing a slice, he got the idea to produce what popular video game about a ghost-weary hero with an insatiable appetite for dots?
Pac-Man.
Correct. Toss-up 5. In June of 2005, it was announced that Reuters would be the last major British news company to pull out of what street that has been the longtime home of Britain's journalism industry? Fleet Street. Toss-up 6. Multiple answers, please. What is the vertex of the parabola x equals 4 minus y squared, and in which direction does the parabola open? Lone Oak 4.
0, 4 up.
Incorrect. Callaway 4.
0, 4 left.
4, 0 left. Close. Toss-up 7. What adjective describes any process in which no exchange of heat takes place between a system and its surroundings? Lone Oak 3.
Endothermic.
Incorrect. Time, adiabatic. Toss-up 8. He is noted for soft sculptures of stuffed cloth such as soft hamburger and for giant objects such as giant saw. Name the Swedish-born American pop artist who is also known for designing monumental outdoor installations. Callaway 2.
Oldenburg.
Yes, Claes Oldenburg. Callaway, here's your bonus. Gregory Corso, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, William S. Burroughs, and Allen Ginsberg were all members of what group of American poets and novelists of the 1950s who rejected established literary and social values?
No answer.
Captain.
Beat Generation.
No, that is correct. The Beat Generation. Toss-up 10. In 1917, to justify his declaration of war, what president used the phrase, the world? Lone Oak 1.
Woodrow Wilson.
That would be Woodrow Wilson, Lone Oak. Here's your bonus 11. What are the factors of the quantity x squared plus 64 when factored over the complex numbers?
X plus 8i, X minus 8i.
X plus 8i and X minus 8i.
Correct. Toss-up 12. In 1838, what German botanist developed the idea that the cell was the basic unit of plants and that growth consisted of, Callaway 4?
Hook.
Incorrect. And growth consisted of production and development of new cells. Lone Oak?
Leeuwenhoek.
No, it's Schlieden. Toss-up 13. A popular Broadway musical is based on what performer in Old Wild West shows, famous for her marksmanship? Lone Oak 1.
Annie Oakley.
It is Annie Oakley, Lone Oak. Here's your bonus 14. In 15 sections, it tells the story of South America from a Marxist viewpoint. What is the title of this epic poem by Pablo Neruda that honors the spirit of South America and its many peoples?
No answer.
Captain?
No answer.
Canto General. After 14 questions, Lone Oak 25, Callaway 2. Here's toss-up 15. The first example of prefabrication in architectural construction, it was built in Hyde Park for the first international exhibition in 1851. Name this glass-pane structure built for around an iron skeleton that was designed by Joseph Paxton. Callaway 4.
No answer.
No answer. The Crystal Palace. Toss-up 16. After Radames accidentally reveals Egyptian military secrets to this title character, he is condemned to death in what Giuseppe Verdi opera named after an Ethiopian princess. Callaway 2.
Aida.
Aida is correct, Callaway. Here's bonus 17. In a solution with pH greater than 8, it is pink to red in color, but is basically colorless in a solution with pH less than 8. What is this common acid-base indicator that was previously widely used as a laxative?
Isn't it, Simon?
Phenolphthalein.
It is indeed phenolphthalein. Callaway gets the bonus. 18 toss-up. Called the Shining Citadel in the epic Beowulf, what was the name of the martial paradise and beautiful hall in Asgard where the souls of the slain? Callaway 2.
Valhalla.
Yes, Valhalla, Callaway. Here's your bonus. 19. What must K equal for the vectors with components 2, 3, 4, and -1, 6, k to be perpendicular. Time, Captain.
8.
-4. Toss-up 20. What is the three-word term for Martin Luther's idea that salvation was based on faith alone, was a matter between an individual and God, and did not require the help of priests or good works? Time. Justification by faith. Toss-up 21. Performers here included the band, Country Joe and the Fish, the Grateful... Lone Oak 1.
Woodstock.
Correct. Bonus 22. What is the product of the binomial 2 plus 5i times 4 plus 5i, expressed in simplest form?
-2 plus 30i.
Incorrect, Captain.
No answer.
-17 plus 30i. Toss-up 23. Palace Walk, Palace of Desire, and Sugar Street are three novels in what trilogy by Egyptian author Naguib Mahfouz? The Cairo Trilogy. Toss-up 24. In 1959, Richard Nixon traveled to the Soviet Union to open an American exhibit in Moscow. As he and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev toured a model home, they began to argue which government was better, capitalism or communism. What is the popular name for this debate, named for the room in the model home where it took place? The kitchen debate. Toss-up 25. What is the scientific name for the Northern Hemisphere constellation commonly called the Swan? Cygnus. Toss-up 26. What French term is used to refer to a kind of sculpture in which the figures are raised only slightly from a flat background? Callaway 2.
Bas relief.
Relief is correct. Bonus 27. The sister of King Francis I, she was a patron of humanists and other writers at her court. Name this French authoress of the Renaissance who adapted Boccaccio's Decameron into her collection of tales called the Heptameron.
No answer.
Captain?
No answer.
Margaret of Navarre. Toss-up 28. Recently, the BBC launched a new mobile device filled with user-generated information about life, the universe, and everything else. This service is reminiscent of what all-encompassing storehouse of knowledge compiled by researchers roaming around the universe, a concept created by author Douglas Adams. Lone Oak 4.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Correct. Lone Oak. Here's your bonus, 29. What is the perimeter of an equilateral triangle if its height is 4 radical 3 centimeters?
(24 centimeters).
Correct. Lone Oak. Toss-up 30. What property of a glacier is the balance between accumulation at the upper end of the glacier and wastage at the lower end? Glacial budget. After 30 questions, Lone Oak 28, Callaway County 6. Here's toss-up 31. What is the solution for x if the log base x of 81 is equal to 4/3? Callaway 3.
27.
Correct. Bonus 32, Callaway. The words to the Scottish song Coming Through the Rye were authored by what poet?
No answer.
Captain.
Burns.
Robert Burns for Lone Oak. That is correct. Toss-up 33. Said to be a tribute to King James I, who used it in his poetry, what is the term for a stanza of 7 lines of iambic pentameter that are rhymed A-B, A-B-B, C-C? Lone Oak 1.
Sonnet.
Incorrect. Callaway 4.
Shakespearean sonnet.
Rhyme Royal. Toss-up 34. A founder of the Electronic Data Systems Corporation in Dallas, what 20th century businessman and politician ran for president in 1992 and 1996? Lone Oak 1.
H. Ross Perot.
H. Ross Perot is correct. Bonus 35. Excess food in a euglena is stored in what structure located on the chloroplasts?
Storage vacuole.
Incorrect, Captain.
Granium.
The pyrenoid. Toss-up 36. What was the nationality of the 20th century Jewish artist known for his stained glass panels in Jerusalem and for his painting Eye in the Village? Lone Oak 1.
Israeli.
Incorrect. Callaway 2.
Check.
Russian. Toss-up 37. Find the measure of the larger of the two acute angles of a right triangle if the acute angles are in a measure ratio of 4 to 11. Lone Oak 2.
24 degrees.
Incorrect. Callaway 3.
66 degrees.
One of the larger angle, and it is 66 degrees. Bonus 38 to Callaway. Percy Shelley's poem Adonis is a lament on the death of what other romantic poet?
No answer.
Captain.
Keats.
It is John Keats. Toss-up 39. Nereus is an ocean-dwelling annelid. On each of its body segments, except the first and last, it has what pair of paddle-like appendages which aid in locomotion and help in gas exchange? Parapods. And toss-up 40. What resort island off Cape Cod in Massachusetts was the center of the whaling industry during the 19th century? Lone Oak 1.
Martha's Vineyard.
Incorrect. No answer. It is Nantucket Island. We'll check the scores and come back for the resolution of the 2011 West Kentucky Academic Bowl right after this. Welcome back to the 2011 West Kentucky Academic Bowl. We have checked our scores and we have a champion. By a score of 30-8, our champions for 2011 is Lone Oak High School. Congratulations. I'd like to congratulate Callaway County, our runners-up. You have a very young team of freshmen and sophomores. You have earned scholarship money from the West Kentucky Academic Bowl Endowment Fund. And keep working. You have a very good team, and you may be here for years to come. Lone Oak High School, you are the champions, and you will receive the champion share of the West Kentucky Academic Fund academic scholarships for 2011. Congratulations. On behalf of my judge, Joe Mahoney, professor of mathematics, and I am Gary Goodacre, professor of mathematics at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day and support us by watching the 2012 West Kentucky Academic Bowl. Thank you and have a good day.